Look at them.
I mean, they did it right.
They're all addicted to their damn phones. Get off your damn phone, go build something, go do something. But watch this video first though, thanks. To this point, everything is out of the car. We took all the suspension off, the motor and tranny, and every little bit of wiring. We cut the glass off, including the big old glass roof, which actually makes it really easy to install a roll cage. So one of the things that we are challenged to do is to build a reliable drift car and a competitive one. And one of the key features of that is definitely the transmission. The 8 HP that comes with these cars are fantastic, but we're looking for a manual. So we went with a G-Force Dogbox. So a Dogbox is a gearbox that doesn't have synchros. You could slam it into gear without a clutch. They're reliable, they're made for motorsports, and that is pretty much the standard in the drift community. So we scanned the back of the engine, we scanned the front of the transmission, put it all into CAD, figured out our measurements. It is the first Hurricane to a G-Force transmission bell housing. Easy. Okay, so look, we cheated slightly.
I went ahead and I bought a small block Chevy to Muncie bell housing adapter. And then I cut it in half so we get the bell portion with the transmission flange. And then this bolts to our fixture jig. And the two sides fit up like so. And then all I gotta do is weld it together.
Now we're moving all the way to the back of the car. We got a rear end. And boy, do we have a rear end. Watch this. I'm gonna throw out my back. I like it. Done. This is a Bulldog quick change rear end. Why a quick change? We can go from track to track and figure out what gear ratio works the best instead of just changing the whole rear end or changing our ring and pinion. To maximize our power and just keep the car in the power band and keep it in the gear we want, we simply just change the two rear gears that are in here, and it's a different ratio for a different track. Oh, because we're building two cars, we got two of these. So everything is gonna be double. We have two of everything. Speaking of having two of everything, all of a sudden, 4-door comes up, and here it is right on the truck. Taxis have 4 doors, so more people, more doors, more fun.
I like it. Let's go check it out. Let's go check it out. Here we go, we got our new Charger. Hey, the red one's fire. 4 doors.
Red one's
fire. This one's better. I like the red, it's fucking way sicker. The red is way cooler. Yeah. Where are we gonna put it?
Yeah, I know where to put it. We can put it in my driveway.
All right, so the engine's already in the car. It's in its stock position. You can see here our bell housing. I'm trying. Camera guy almost lost a foot. Our bell housing, our transmission is here. I'm gonna take the engine back out, put our bell housing on and our transmission on. We're gonna set the motor back a little lower and a little bit further back. Pushing the motor back helps us in a couple of ways. It actually makes the weight one, lowering it is better center of gravity, more load to the ground is way better, and pushing it back, better weight distribution to the back, makes it slide a little better, makes it handle a little better, and all we gotta do is make some engine mounts. Easy. Done. Goddamn Sergio makes a lot of noise. Anyway, and the air compressor's on. Anyway, look, you see this engine mount right here, look, and there's a ton of room right here. That's my unit of measurement. So I think they did that because it's all-wheel drive. So what we're gonna do is we're not gonna use the all-wheel drive. We're gonna take this right here, take this off, and set the engine way back. But before we can do that, engine has to come out. We have a dilemma. We have another engine, one without the four-wheel drive oil pan that we took out of our Dodge Hornet. That's the only one we had that with that oil pan. So we're just gonna go grab it and put that one in because this right here is all unnecessary. Long boy! Just in the comments, that's long boy.
There we go.
Just
Now we can see.
I'm not short, I'm 6 feet. That guy, long. Yeah. There we go.
And they lose part of it. And then they find it in the room. And then they don't have the bolt.
Who put that on? That thing was about ready to come off.
Shit, that was me.
It's just sitting in there like, did we pull the motor off?
Hold on.
Just get inside the motor bay, engine bay. Don't go under it. That's the dumbest thing ever. Go to the side of it. I'm on the side. I'm gonna let it down. You stay there, Derek.
There you go.
That's good. That's a 45 degree. I'm gonna weld like a very thick washer to the end. That just sits right up here like this. The bolt goes down in the middle, and then we just take our tube and go from there to there, and that's instant motor mount. Ow! So 6 1/4 is about in the middle. So you measure the two sides. Obviously, they're not gonna be like dead center. You take the difference, and you divide that in half, and then you're gonna have your little mounts. Something's off. I think it's me. My man, 30 degrees was where it was at. Right there. All right, now all we gotta do is the fun part, which is the welding. Once this is welded, I'm gonna put it back in the car and do my final trims to fit perfectly, weld that into the car, and then we're done. I remember back in the day when I could weld without these glasses. I can't do that anymore. This is some bullshit. I gotta wear these things. I look like such a dick. I would, before you weld though, turn on the gas. God damn it, dude. All right. Remember when I said easy? The fun part with welding? That wasn't it. That was not it. That thing was shit. Let's get the motor back in the car, final fit the engine mount, make sure it's exactly right, and then we'll attack it.
Off the lift. Here, I'll hold it.
No, it's good, it's good. You should have been holding it.
So you said it was good. 2 jacks, engine hooks, and a scissor jack.
Suppy the welder, goddamn.
Dude, that's all f***ed up.
You should let me do it. I like
Absolutely not.
Dude, I like dimes. You f***ed it up. I do an amazing job.
Did you just say I f***ed up?
I would do way better.
Gentle.
As a professional welder, I know that shit is trash.
Jason, get the fuck out of All right, welding is done. I put a roots pass and then I put a cap pass, which makes the weld a little thicker, makes it a little stronger, yeah? To reinforce that a little bit more, I got my old trusty cardboard. I'm gonna make a little gusset right here. Work my way in there like this. Mark off the edge of your plate right there, and then just draw a line. Take a trusty T-square. That's your gusset. Right now, everything is hinged upon that little point. So like, let's say you're taking the forces of an engine and you're moving it back and forth. That's a hinge. It could either bend the plate or actually snap at the weld. You take your little gusset guy and you put it right there. Look, you stop that hinge action. There you go. Over to the bandsaw, cut these out. I like it. Now we weld. And I got a phone call.
Hello?
Can you bring me my chapstick?
We got all the exciting action happening out there, but in here, we got a lot of little bits and bobs to make. Okay, you see we got a CNC machine over there. We've been putting it to work nearly every day, making a box of exciting things. We got a box of billet, coilover adapters for the stock suspension, water pump adapters. We got a little plug. And then we also have some brake caliper adapters. We got the Hurricane motor scan, got our motor mount plates, and most importantly, the bell housing stuff. Oh, I've got so many scans. I got the scan for the chassis. Always a total pain in the ass. The pedal boxes and factory cars are so specific to what they actually are. I'm getting this in the perfect spot because we gotta get this lined up, our collapsible steering shaft lined up, so like that kind of deal. I'm working on that. I do this all the time. I do so many pedal boxes, dude. I do millions of them. I gotta find them though. If you can't do all this stuff, just stick to the stock pedal box. Ain't that nice? These racing pedal boxes are really nice. They have all this adjustability, so you can adjust the position of the pedal by rotating that in or out. That'll change the clutch pedal position. And then this has a balance bar, so you can adjust this. We're gonna have a knob with a wire that comes out of here, and that goes on the dashboard, and you can rotate that, and then I'll rotate this rod in and out, and what that's gonna do is that's gonna set the bias for the brakes, because we got two master cylinders here, one's for the rear and one's for the front. So by turning this rod, we can adjust how much each one of these is gonna be pushed in by the pedal. You can see this one's pushing it a little more than that one. So this one's gonna have more pressure being applied to that pedal. So yeah, really nice. That's kind of where a lot of time goes. It's figuring out brand new car stuff because it's so specific to our application and there's just nothing available for it. But that's just what happens. We're in the territory of working on a brand new chassis. People haven't really gotten their hands on it yet. It's just how it goes.
Motor mounts are done. Now it's time to move on to make a quick down and dirty I'm gonna make a quick and easy transmission mount and move on to some even cooler stuff. I wanna make a turbo manifold with our brand new single turbo. Maybe make some whooshing noises. There's no other position in the world that you can possibly be doing. Here we are. Okay, this is our two mounting points for our transmission. And there's some bolt holes here. Unfortunately, I'm missing one here. I'm gonna create a mounting point right there, and then I would do our little two cup things, put a tube across, and then just a straight bracket from here. And that would be our transmission mount. And then our engine and transmission are fully mounted up in the car, and we move on to the next thing.
This is Suppy's old tube bender. He's had it since like 20 years or some shit like that, and it's definitely a challenge to use. Hot rod right here.
I'm breaking the fourth wall right now. I don't know if you guys can see, but it's like a crazy combination of like forklift parts on this crane. Yeah, he just recycled. I don't know what he did, but he like found some heavy equipment and like recycled it into this bender here. So we'll have a cage by the end of the day, but yeah, this is kind of crazy. Let's see.
How we looking?
Good.
It's not too tall. Hit that shit with a hammer. Hold on, let me get you a hammer. Hammer that shit into place, Serge. Oh, damn. I think we're good, dude. I think right there is fine.
We should be close enough, because the top of the roof has to be a certain distance to your head.
I mean, maybe take like a ½ inch off. We could bring the front a little closer.
I want to actually bring it up to here. Hang on. Let me see something.
I was sweating yesterday. I was like, I better get this shit tomorrow. I see where this is going.
This is so much easier with no roof.
Yeah, yeah, dude. When I was welding in place, and I'm like, this is wrong. It doesn't feel right. Then there's no roof, so it doesn't matter.
You can hit it. There you go. Oh, solid. Go ahead, tap it. Hell yeah. Dude, it's perfect.
Yeah, that's better.
Hell yeah.
Sick.
Right?
Success.
The hoop is perfect. It's under a little bit of tension to pull it forward because we're super tight at the corners, but it needs to be that way. We could either leave it, which I think we're gonna do, or we could notch it. I think leaving it is just fine. And now Serge is gonna make the harness bar and the diagonal bar. We should have a cage by the end of the day, yeah?
Yeah, sure.
Remember, he said that.
You know what I did? What did you do? Eyeballed that shit. Swear to God, there's no level in here.
Yeah, the level's right here.
Jesus' eyes are level.
You're fucking Jesus superpower.
I did half of Sergio's job. Look, I built like half the roll cage just now in like 30 minutes. Just welded the 2 plates across the knee bar. We like to do the knee bar like this because normally you have a 3D bend here. So you got 1 bend and then 2 bend. Suppy likes to do the knee bar like this because it just makes things a lot easier and get this A-pillar bar nice and tight. That's how we like it.
End of day, boys are rocking and rolling. We didn't get as much done as we thought we were, but at least bell housing is done, engine mount is done, cage is started. Don't miss the next episode. We'll get around to the rest of the stuff.
Should be in slow-mo.
Okay.